Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Heather, aka The Busy Simmer, and you are watching another BS builds. So the last build video I did was for the Simsy shell challenge, which ended up being a disaster. And then I did a few starter homes just to give myself a budget and get some practice in, and I didn't end up recording them, so I started this one last night, or I built this one last night with Hank over here. I can't see his last name, but I create sims for all of my builds just so in the end I can test it out and make sure everything is usable. So I created Hank, and I was going for a geeky kind of build. Obviously I wanted it to be a starter home, so I wanted it to be under 20,000, but the idea behind this is that he wants to be popular and famous, and he's got a house that needs a lot of gadgetry and computers and all that kind of thing. So, and I wanted to play around a lot with the loft type idea as well. Just the idea of making split levels and all that kind of stuff. And so you'll see me kind of struggle with it a little bit here, but in the end it gets there. Next door you can see one of my starter builds. I'll make a video touring those. They are up on the gallery. If you hashtag search The Busy Simmer, you can find them on there. But yeah, so I struggled a lot at first, but then I kind of get going here pretty quick. So I wanted to make a split level on the first floor and then a loft on the second floor, because I thought it was kind of a cool look, and right there is a split level. And I kind of just make it like a kitchen on the first floor / small dining area, and then a bedroom on the lower split level. And then on the top, I just do a loft with his computers and a bathroom, which, funny story, at the end, maybe you'll see it. I did almost forget to put a bathroom, and I only had like 800 simoleons left. And so I started to panic, and I was like, oh no, what did I do? But I was able to fit them in there. I had to sell a couple things, I think, but there we go. I got the loft going. So now I'm choosing just like the most basic fences and stairs. I thought I was gonna go back and replace them with something nicer, but in the end I didn't have enough money. So they stay kind of like that. I think maybe I changed the color, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a huge fan of that brick on the bottom there on the foundation, but I think it stays that way as well. I'm really disappointed. I tried to make sure it was all either base game or get famous. I think there might be a few of the business expansion in there get to work, but I'm not entirely sure. But those are the only three types of items that should be in this build. So the last few builds, or actually the last build is the only one that I really tried to make sure it was a base game only build. So I think I called it the beginner's loft, because that also I was playing with the loft type build thing. But yeah, so the kitchen's going up. I use the absolute cheapest appliances, as you can see, and some of the cheapest tables. I didn't go with the cheapest chair because they were kind of tacky. Right here I'm just trying to figure out what carpet I want to use, and I end up changing it a few times actually. I thought I was gonna go for like a blue or teal color scheme, and then I end up not doing that, so. Alright, so it is Monday. What is it, like May 6th, I think? Cinco de Mayo was yesterday, maybe? I don't even know. I think it's, yeah, it's Monday, May 6th at 10 o'clock in the morning. I have Mondays off, which is so great. Oh my gosh, I can do stuff like this. I've been working on my novel though, which is why I haven't had any videos up, and I'm not fancy enough to do the pre-recording. So I didn't really do much of that, or any of it really. But novels, I mean, it's done. I just needed to go through and do a bunch of editing and revising and changing and making sure that the story flowed with the changes I've made, because once you write a story and then you go back and add stuff into the middle of it, you just read that section to make sure it flows with that part, but then if it doesn't flow with the story overall, then it's, you know, it's not good. So then after I add everything, I need to go, you know, it's like over 300 pages, so it's quite the project. But then I lost my flash drive halfway through reading it for about a week, which was really upsetting. I did save a copy of the novel, but it was kind of outdated. It didn't have all the minor details I'd added, which was really disheartening because all those details are things that I wouldn't have been able to remember when I went back through to add stuff. But I ended up finding it in my purse. So I need to get a lanyard or something for it, is what my boyfriend suggested. But so we're just doing the outside of the build now. I was trying to figure out a good foundation to use with that siding. It's got shingles. It's like half shingled, half stucco, it looks like. And then I wanted to do an accent wall, and let me tell you what, that I think it's Get Famous siding with the blue bricks. That stuff is expensive. So that's where most of my money went, and then I decided to do a gray stucco for the rest of the house just because I like the idea of blue and gray together. It's kind of pretty. And then I ended up changing the bed. I added an end table and a couch as well for like a little TV area. And then as you can see, I added the streaming setup and the streaming drone as well. And then I added just a little cheap computer as well because I figured, I mean, I'm not a professional streamer, so I have one computer screen, one computer, and a headset, which I ended up breaking, so now I'm using my boyfriend's. So I don't have the fancy setup like all of the professional YouTubers do, but I figured, I don't know, if I wanted to stream as a profession, I'd probably have the fancy setup, and then I'd have some other computer to do minor work on, I don't know, writing or file keeping or record keeping, I don't know, something. And I did end up going with the red roof, and I'm not sure why, and I don't think I matched, oh, I did the glass roof there, okay. I was gonna say, I don't think I matched it very well to the lower piece there. And then I am aware that the stucco on the second floor and the half stucco on the first floor, siding on the first floor, it does not match. Or at least it doesn't look like it does. And certain lightings, it looked like it matched. The bottom one is a little more cream colored and the top one is more gray. It looked like it matched in certain lights, and other lights it did not. And so I had a really hard time finding something that matched, and I just kind of gave up, and I'm like, whatever. It's a starter home. It doesn't need to be all super matchy but so I added blinds to the windows, and I'm just trying to go through here. I did add a thermostat and a fire alarm as well. And then I added an accent table, which I thought looked really nice, but then about here is when I was like, oh crap, there's no bathroom. So I ended up having to sell that accent table, which was really sad. And I did make it like an open floor plan bathroom because there's only one sim living here, and I figure he's popular, but he'll be going out to be with friends, you know, and not necessarily have people over to his place because he's not rich yet. It's kind of just a humble little starter home. He wouldn't be super thrilled to have people over. There's no sitting room, etc. So I figured he wouldn't be having people over yet until he can afford his own place. But I ended it with like one simoleon, I think. You'll see me testing out the build as well with him, and there's a few things that didn't go very well. Like, he couldn't use the TVs for some reason, even when I lowered it, so I ended up selling it and buying a coffee table and like a stand TV. But the kitchen was completely usable, the dining table was completely usable, couch and bed were completely usable. I just had to switch out the TV because he couldn't use it. So that was kind of disappointing because I had to do that in my last build as well, and if I had had the money, I would have put windows on that accent wall or art or something, but I did not have that money. So we go upstairs to use the bathroom, and the bathroom was almost all completely usable or accessible except for the mirror. So I had to do some rearranging on that, and then the computers were, the drone was, and I did not forget to put a trash can on the inside or the outside. So that's about it, people, but leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time, happy simming!